Okay, I don't like to do these videos at all, but anyways, I feel I had to say something. Uh, I lost a friend, uh, the citizen of Fredericton also lost a friend, and we lost a giant. A lot of people wouldn't know him. Name is Stephen Burtt. And Stephen, I known Stephen for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. And you would see Stephen as a parking commissionaire. And he was about, whoa, he was way, way, way up there. This is the guy here. This is the guy. And this is his Facebook. Family man. Nice guy. Very nice guy. And he even posed for a picture. You see how big he is? This was one of my weird sense of humor. My master, Dan Bissia, ordered me to get rid of a certain nuisance. And you could tell by the size. Just tremendous guy. I mean, he was a giant. And it's sad. Last night I was here, and about 11 o'clock, 10:30, I don't, 10 o'clock or whatever, I heard on the scanner that a commissionaire wasn't responding at work. Anyway, I went there, and then somebody said, Charles, this is not it's not for videos. Then I had my video on, of course, and then I said, who was it? Mentioned 2 guys, and Steve was one of them, and they say, hey, Steve. And it's so sad. I just stood back, let the professional do their work, and you see in the shadow trying to bring him back to life, but it was too late. And took me a long time to walk back home. Because, anyway, but Steve was the type of guy that I talked to him last week. Like I always told him, you owe me a double, because I was stopped by with DOG. DOG loved the guy, and he loved DOG also. Who doesn't? And he told me last week. He said he loves his job. He loves his job. Just, you know, everything is fine if it could stay there for another 2 or 3 years. And I was always said, okay, I passed my time with you for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, had to listen to my BS. You owe me a double. But, you know, he would stay in his office and play his little game and then go on patrol. And one thing that Steve was really disgusted about, and he would tell me, it's the issue of our youths, the way the youths, their attitude toward adults. He says, I never seen anything like that in my life. Skateboarders in the parking garage, and their attitude, and cut in front of the vehicle. There's so many stories, but you know, like he was a giant. Like, for an example, like he told me last week, told me a story a few weeks ago. Then he noticed on my Facebook, I can say it now, he's no longer around. He said, I read what you wrote and the video you made, and he says, you did pretty good because you never postman at 4:45. Okay. So, I didn't know they were that late. Focus, Charles. He would, the story he told me was, he's the guy, remember the story about the crystal met, that I said he was deaf? And Steve, his job, he was in the bottom of the parking garage, and Steve went behind him, even though he was a giant. Yes, may I help you? And it scared the shit out of the medhead. And, Steve could have grabbed him. Yeah. And that's why the crystal meth guy starts screaming at him, hollering, and he's saying, you scared the shit out of me. And, his size, he would just say, okay, move on. Wouldn't touch nobody, wouldn't hurt a fly. And last night, he took a massive heart attack on his seat. And pass on. I went there today, staff, they were all in shock, still had tears. Can you imagine, you're coming to work, oh, Steve died last night, right here in the office. I'm surprised there was no counseling there, and I'm surprised they didn't send everybody home. This is, I know it's non-union, commissionaires, but, focus, Charles. Must have been very hard for the staff to work today, because even me last night, I was a wreck, and I wasn't going to do no video last night because I want to make sure the family knew first, and they started putting messages on their Facebook. But no, we lost a giant with a beautiful heart, and a person that will be truly missed. And I know one thing right now, he's in heaven, and he is right beside St. Peter's at the gate with his beautiful heart and making sure that everything goes in order, because whoever goes to heaven will be met by a giant angel. And this is the guy right here. I will miss him. DOG will miss him. A lot of people will be in mourning. And my deepest sympathy to his family and friends. Yeah. À la prochaine, Steve. À la prochaine.